You're mine, mine. You're mine, mine, mine. You're mine, mine.
You are now tuned into Philly's Morning Joe with your host, Joe Castro. Now, you might not like us, but we know you love us. So grab your cup and get ready to talk some Eagles. Go Birds.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, the mic should be working now. It's not a Philly morning show if something doesn't go wrong. I mean, that's historically proven. That's a fact. We all know that. So hopefully everybody can hear me now. The stream cut out, so everything that could go wrong today has gone wrong so far. But I appreciate you guys for sticking around, man. Shout out to everybody already in the chat. We got 16 people between the two, between all the channels that we're on. Let's get it, man. It's Philly's Morning Joe. Today we're gonna have a special guest, man. I'm excited about that. We're gonna have my guy Tone on the show. We're gonna talk about these Eagles, man. There's a lot going on in a little bit of time, so we got a lot to talk about. I'm excited. This new week of football, obviously we got, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens, man. I think that the Eagles are in a very good position to go out there and improve on what they, kind of failed on last week. Still got the win. We can go out there, be 2-0. I want to see a dominant win. So, the question today, I guess, is it Super Bowl or bust for the Philadelphia Eagles? I guess that's the question I want to be answered today, because you look at this team, and while we are very, very talented, don't get me wrong, and I think that we have the talent to be a Super Bowl team, we are still young. We have a first-year coordinator for us, at least. We have a first-year defensive coordinator for us, at least. They're both veterans in the game, so do you give them that leeway? Usually when it's like a first-year coordinator, you say, it's going to take a year for them to get it together, take a year for them to really gel, really figure everybody out. Do we give them that grace period, or is it, flying out the gates, pun intended? So I'm interested to see what people think, because me personally, I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust. I think that you got to make a run in the playoffs. I think you definitely got to do something in the playoffs. I don't want to lose in the first round again, but Super Bowl or bust is a little strong for me. Super Bowl or bust is a little strong for me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 25 people in the chat. Let me make sure my music ain't too loud. I'll turn the music down just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we still working the kinks out. Still getting everything going. But look, I'll say this. We're going against the Falcons, right? The Falcons obviously got Kirk Cousins, who's a statue in the pocket. It comes down to the Eagles being able to take advantage of that. It comes down to the Eagles being able to get to the quarterback. We've talked about this the past couple of shows. The Eagles are in a position that the edge rusher position went from a strength to right now possibly a weakness, right? Maybe weakness is a little bit strong, but I don't know. I don't know how confident I really am in this pass rush. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, man. And Zach Bond is obviously a linebacker, but seeing him get in the backfield is a little bit, making me optimistic. But we got to see it from the rest of the team. We got to see Nolan Smith make some headway. We got to see, Bryce Huff actually do something. We got to see these players go out there and ball out, man, because I can't go through a season being, that team that has 30 sacks or 25 sacks. I'm not trying to be that team again. I really am not trying to be that team again. Like that, it was tough last year, man. It constantly falling short when it came to the pass rush. And Kirk Cousins is honestly usually the biggest culprit when it comes to the Eagles because he passes the ball so quick. He gets the ball out of his hands so fast that we usually we're not in position. Our defensive line's not able to get there. They're caught off guard, whatever you want to call it. And I'm nervous that that's going to happen again this week. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, Kirk Cousins looked terrible in week 1, don't get me wrong, and he still looks maybe like he has a little bit lingering effects from that injury. But the question becomes, are we going to be able to, take him down? He last week in week 1, he was the fastest guy to get the ball out of his hands as far as quarterbacks go. So that's something that you're going to have to keep your eye on. The Eagles struggle against that. The Eagles definitely struggle against that. So, I mean, look, I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm ready. I'm ready for this game. So, and speaking of ready, I'm also ready for this guest, man. I'm excited to have him on. A guy I've wanted to have on for a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. Last year we've talked. We were supposed to get each other on each other's channel. Things happen. Life happens. My man was very, very busy. We're gonna get him on the channel. We got my guy Tone Deshields. Give me 1 second to get him on the channel. You gotta love OBS, man. OBS makes it so difficult for you. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let me get this going. Tone, can you hear me?
You got me?
I got you. My guy Tone in the building. What's going on, Tone? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain too much. Just been slowly but surely building this business called Chalk It Up Sports.
Yes, sir.
We're doing all right. And I'm excited, man. The football season is here. Week 1 is in the books. So much to get into. I'm just happy to be here, man. How about you? How are things with you and the people?
I cannot complain, man. I really cannot complain. Like you said, a beautiful season on the way. We got a lot of good things to talk about, a lot of good things to be excited about. Some bad, Tone. I got to bring the bad up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So we going to talk about that as well. But, yeah, you've been killing it with Chalk It Up, man. Hey, kudos to you. You've been absolutely killing it. The interviews, the live streams. I'm very, very happy for you. I mean, I remember when you first started your channel, so to see where you've come, it's a blessing for you, man, and I'm so proud of you, so happy for you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. It's definitely been a long time coming. I learned a lot, had my own version of ups and downs, but I'm back better than ever. I feel like I figured this thing out. Chalk It Up Sports is truly doing things that I really didn't account for. The people are really gravitating towards the content. And overall, I'm just trying to be myself throughout the whole process. I always say I have too many people that know me in real life that watch the show. I can't go out there and just be something I'm not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got family that watch. I got my parents, college, high school, like people that know me really. So I always tell people, whatever you see on that camera, that's really who I am in real life. I can't be nothing else because trust and believe, the people that know me best won't even let me live. They'd be in the live chat saying, boo, bull crap. Like, nah, come on, Tone. Keep it real, Tone. That ain't you. And then, again, my mom, my dad watched the show, and my mom, the first one to call me. What was you saying today? I ain't like that. What was going on? So, yeah, man, I love what I'm doing, love what I'm building. I gotta be myself throughout the whole process. And I'm having fun doing it, man. It's fun, man. Like, what we do here is a privilege. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I can't say it enough, man. It really is. We're lucky to be able to talk to these beautiful people. So let's talk to them. Let's be real. That's what we got you here for, Tone, because you are one of the realest content creators when it comes to it. So I want to talk about these Eagles. We'll start with week 1. I think that's the best place to start. Obviously, we saw ups and downs. There were some good things to look at. There were some, things that we want to see cleaned up. Overall, I think that the mistakes that we've made as far as the offense goes, just the lack of continuity I feel like this team had, not having any preseason games. I think that getting out of there with a win, being able to put up as many points as you did, I think that's a win in itself. I think that you can learn from that game, a lot of film to go over. What were your initial thoughts after that game? How were you feeling after the win?
The first thing that comes to my mind when you ask that question is kudos to the defense.
Yeah.
I know we give a lot of shine on offense because that's the sexy side of the ball. That's where all the explosive plays happen. But we got to give the utmost credit and reverence to that Eagles defense. I mean, they were put in compromising situations on back-to-back drives in that first quarter. I mean, what a way to say welcome to the NFL to your young guys on defense, right? They got a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. Quinyon Mitchell, and then you bring back CJ GJ. Cooper DeJean has some snaps, here and there. Bryce Huff, you got some new guys on that side of the ball, right? And what a way to say welcome to the 2024 season. No better way to say welcome to the league is, hey, you know what? Let me give you the ball, or let me make you play defense in the red zone. Back-to-back drives. As a matter of fact, your quarterback threw an interception and they fumbled on those first couple drives. Let's see how you deal with that. And they only gave up 6 points in total, which allowed the Philadelphia Eagles to drive down the field on that follow-up drive and put up a touchdown. And now they got the lead all of a sudden. So those kind of moments that other teams will take advantage of, that's something they got to carry. But that defense, I feel like, won that game more than anything because the offense was very, very close to losing the game in the first quarter. Again, imagine going down to that team, that Green Bay Packers team. Imagine going down to them in the first quarter, 14-0 within the first 5 minutes. Imagine that. It's not a good place to be. So the first thing that comes to mind is that defense. Love how they played in the red zone. Run defense was spotty, but I feel like they had stretches where they did well. They did the best they could, keeping Josh Jacobs reeled in. I mean, a guy like that, he's eventually you're going to start to leak oil. But overall, I was pleased with the defense. I feel like they did exactly what they needed to do, and they played big in big moments. Yeah. And then as far as the offense goes, Jalen Hurts has to be better. Period. Has to be better. Has to be cleaner. Obviously, the Saquon Barkley show was spectacular. 3 touchdowns. That was fun to watch. AJ Brown versus Jair Alexander. That was really exciting to watch as well. And Jalen Hurts survived the mistakes. He had a strong second and third quarter, right? Had a strong fourth quarter towards the end, outside of that interception. But he survived the mistakes. He made the plays that he needed to make when he needed to make them. And I give him credit for staying resilient. I give the entire team credit for staying resilient, right? That was the perfect game for you to prove to the league whether or not last year's issues will follow you or not. Yeah. And although they had the ups and downs in the game, they proved that whatever happened last year will not haunt them. And they managed to be the good team in the process. But Jalen Hurts has to be better. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. I believe in his game wholeheartedly. He has to be better. Yeah. Turnovers happen. Good defensive players make good plays, right? But those plays, throwing across your body and throwing in triple coverage, you can't do that.
Definitely.
So I think he watched the film and said, yeah, I can't do that. That was what was I thinking? He said in the press conference, because somebody asked him, how do you avoid those situations? He was like, you just don't do it. Like I know, and I think that's his way of saying I know better than that.
Yeah.
So
unwise decisions. I think that's
exactly
the best way to put it. And you bring up this defense, and I want to stay on that for a second because I think that a lot of people, a lot of fans aren't realizing how well our defense realistically did. Did they give up big plays? Definitely. Were there some things that you want to see cleaned up? Definitely. Not going to sit here and act like it was, the Bears of 85. I'm not going to say that. But the difference between last year and this year, and I said this, I was on Fox Sports The Gambler the other day, and I said this on there, and I want to know if you agree with me. I think the biggest difference is coaching. I think that you see these guys actually looking like they know where they're supposed to be, actually communicating in that secondary, communicating with that front seven. You saw people moving. Last year, I felt like when there was motion, people didn't know where they were supposed to go. You were seeing broken coverages all over this year, and I even saw it in the preseason, and it really stuck out to me that these guys, it felt like they knew what they were supposed to do, you know. And I would love to know what you think about that, and how you feel this coaching staff. Obviously, it's still early, but have you seen the effects of this coaching staff?
Yeah, very much so. Those first 2 drives told me everything I needed to know about the way that defense was coached, right? I mean, they could have panicked in that situation. Back-to-back drives in the red zone. I mean, the Packers came as close as being, to the 5-yard line. They were right there. And somehow, some way, you managed to survive it. And you held them to 6 points on both drives. I mean, that's not an easy it's not an easy feat. And it says a lot about how they're being coached. It says a lot about how Vic Fangio is instilling the knowledge. Like you said, right? They looked very instinctual, right? As a matter of fact, I've always heard players say, like, you don't want to go out there thinking, you want to play fast. Yep. Even if you make a mistake, even if you make the wrong read, make a mistake on purpose. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to make that mistake, hey, lean in, because you never know what it may lead to. You don't want to be hesitant. That creates opportunities for people. Make a decision, and it just may be the right one. Yep. So I saw that team playing very fast on defense. I saw them being instinctual. I saw them hitting out there. Did they miss tackles? Sure, right? It's not easy to tackle Jaden Reed in the open field, right? On a 70+ yard touchdown. That Packers offensive line, that whole team, they blocked very well on the Jaden Reed jet sweep touchdown, the 33-yarder. That play was blocked perfectly. I mean, he ran through a lot of traffic, and they blocked it perfectly. But overall, that defense was well coached throughout that game. Guys looked like they knew exactly what they were supposed to be. And I'm sure you can nitpick various spots of the defense, right? It's hard for me to really it's hard for me to be so hard on the defense after week 1, because obviously it's just week 1. But even beyond that, that grass wasn't in the best condition for the defensive guys to plant their feet and really get that bend, come around the corner on the edge, right? You saw guys like Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith. They were kind of neutralized in this game. The guys in the interior were the only ones that were really able to crack through. So that's something we could probably talk about, and maybe some people can be a little nervous about. But I'm going to wait until this Atlanta game. That's because you're home, you're on home grass. The Atlanta Falcons offensive line didn't really have a good start to their season. They look slow. Kirk Cousins, he struggled in that first week. He doesn't look like the same guy, if I'm being completely honest with you. I know it was only 1 week, but this Eagles defense has a prime opportunity in front of them to really harass and violate and dehumanize Kirk Cousins. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they have that opportunity here with the way that offensive line played last week, and how they've been playing how they played Kirk Cousins last week. I expect them to make a lot of overcorrections, but I think this is a situation where the Eagles defense, especially the defensive line, this is the game where you show, okay, we're better than what we showed against the Packers. And then one more observation from that defense. The young guys were coached up very well, a la Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell had a really, really good game. They tried him. I think they targeted him like maybe 9 or 10 times. He only gave up 4 catches, like a 59.0 passer rating or 60.0 passer rating, something like that. He had like 2 or 3 pass breakups. They really tried to go after the young guy, and he held his own. And what better receiving core than to test your mettle than the Green Bay Packers? I mean, they're talented, they're young. They may not have a bona fide number 1 receiver, but those guys are all talented in their own right. They can get open, and we saw that with Jaden Reed. But other guys, Romeo Doubs, they were neutralized. I just think, to your point, to your original question, they were coached very well in this game, and it seemed like nothing surprised them. Although they were put in some compromising situations, they looked like nothing surprised them.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's getting lost in this game is that the Green Bay Packers are a pretty good team. I think a lot of people are acting like we went out there and played, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know.
But Joe, they do that. They do that.
It's
all summer, all week, they've been saying, listen, them Green Bay Packers, man, they coming. It's their time. They coming. Jordan Love, the $255 million man, he gonna take advantage of that defense. And Jordan Love completed 50% of his passes.
That's what I'm saying.
Jordan
They were
Love
Super
was
Bowl
inefficient.
favorites. People were saying they were Super Bowl favorites, and then once we beat them, it's like, yeah, I mean, okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's cool. You gotta love
If
it.
you take, because he threw that 70+ yard touchdown to Jaden Reed, right? And he was pretty fortunate because he threw a near pick six the play prior, right?
Yep.
Shout out to N'Kobe Dean. But let's be honest about this, right? And I'm not here to disparage the brother, but Jordan Love and get well soon, my man. He went 17 for 34, 260 passing yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. You take away that 70+ yard touchdown, that puts him in like the 190 area as far as yards, 180. He wasn't efficient, he wasn't effective, he was missing open guys. He just didn't look like he didn't look in sync. The timing was off. And again, it's week 1, right? But you get handed 2 gifts in the first drive and you can't score a touchdown on either of them.
That's
That's a problem.
And you know, it's crazy to think because you look at this team, you look at the Eagles team, and last year I felt like people were picking us apart. I felt like you could have a 10-play drive on us pretty damn easily, right?
Yes.
Big plays can get fixed. I think that, you know, it's ugly to watch, you know, as a fan, you're like, oh my God. But one play hitters aren't things that happen normally, right? I mean, 20+ yard plays are pretty rare in the NFL. That's why they track them. So, I mean, I have more confidence in the Eagles being able to fix that than, you know, if they were to just give up play after play after play. I would be more nervous in that sense. But I do want to talk to you about Quinyon, and I'm glad you brought him up because I was able to talk to Martin Frank the other day just on Twitter talking about what he saw and which kind of took me off guard. Now, I know that Cooper DeJean is really good, and I'm excited to see him play. But from what he said was that once Cooper DeJean gets back, he's going to be a starter. That it's going to be Slay, Quinyon, and Cooper DeJean. And he's saying that as soon as possibly this week, if he's 100% ready, or, you know, the next week, whenever he's 100% ready, he said that he knows. The way he said it, it was like a proven fact that he knows that Cooper DeJean is going to be in that slot. So I want to ask you, because we have so many players. You look at Isaiah Rodgers, you look at Eli, Kaylee, however you feel about them. What would your perfect 3 be? I mean, I think Quinyon deserves a spot out there. I think Slay still deserves a spot out there. Who would be your perfect 3rd guy? Are you okay with Maddox? Because me personally, I kind of hated what I saw from Maddox. But, you know, how do you feel about that?
That's a good question. Just picking up on the Maddox side of it, right? he did not look good where he was. Now I want to try to throw him some bail. I want to try because I like Maddox as a human.
I do.
He's been playing safety all off season. You know, you prep for safety. You know, that's pretty much what you kind of condition in your mind and your instincts for. And then they say, "Hey, we need you to play nickel today against that receiving core." He looked like he got exposed in a way, and it got to a point where they were attacking him, right? So I think to answer your question directly, my perfect combination, because you do got Isaiah Rodgers back there, right? You still got him waiting, coming off the injury. But here's the thing, right? Injuries leave opportunities for guys to take your job, right? N'Kobe Dean, Devin White, right? I'm sure we're gonna get into that, but Quinyon Mitchell, seeing him on the outside, and I've always wanted him on the outside. That was my preference for him. Seeing him out there, I can't see. Me as a coach, I couldn't see myself moving him. I couldn't allow myself to do that, knowing what he did in that first game and under those circumstances. He managed to stay pretty stout on that field. Where I mean, DBs were everybody was slipping, and he just managed to stay focused. He didn't panic. He didn't let the environment really knock him off his square. Darius Slay prior to the game told him, listen, young blood, they're going to attack you deep. So just be ready for that. They're going to try you. They're going to target you early in this game to test you. And he was ready for it. One of the things Quinyon Mitchell said leading up to that game, he says if anything he wants to take out of it, or how he knows that he had a good game, is if he remained confident throughout the whole game. That's how he know he had a good game. If I was confident from beginning to end, it was a good day for me. So I need Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. He just looks right. I'm seeing him in number 27. I'm seeing him just moving around.
Out there.
I'm seeing the confidence. He looked good out there, man. He just fit. He fit the part. You know what I mean? You ever see a movie and you be like, you know what? I can't see. All right. I don't know if you're a Marvel fan or whatever, but Wolverine, right? You know, the rumors were he wasn't gonna come back as Wolverine. He gave it up. Then all of a sudden they gave him a deal he couldn't refuse, right? And besides, let's be honest, only one person is Wolverine.
Fact.
We can't imagine nobody else playing him, right? When I saw Quinn Mitchell out there, I'm like, he just looked right. That's his role. That's his spot. He looked good in that midnight green. He looked good in that white on black. He just looked good in that Eagles helmet. The body language, the swagger. Like, he fits that situation right now. And I love it for him, and he proved it. Then let's get to the slot. I'm with you. I want to let the young boys cook. I need the young boys to cook, right? After seeing what Quinyon did out there, I'm willing to take another risk and put Cooper DeJean out there. He's talented, he's athletic, he's physical. I just feel like at this point in the season, you want to get these guys their lumps early. They're going to go up against some pretty talented guys early in the season, so they can learn really quickly. This was the first test, that deep Green Bay receiver room, right? And they got the 2 tight ends. You managed to keep all that in check. And then this week you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. That's going to be a situation that you're testing in a different way, but they're still talented. You got to respect it. I'm not the biggest Kyle Pitts fan, but it's a different conversation. And then you're going to deal with the Buccaneers, right? You got the Saints. You're going to get some talented receivers. And, Rashid Shaheed, I think that's the receiver for the Saints, right? And they got Chris Olave. And then the Buccaneers, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Like this is the perfect time. Then you got the bye week. So you can, if it was me, I'm throwing my young boys out there early. Let them get their lumps, and then we got the bye week, right? We can rehash and revisit some things before we get too deep into the season. So that's my situation. I want Quinyon on the outside, Darius Slay opposite, and then Cooper DeJean in the slot. But we also have to account for the narrative that if they bring Isaiah Rodgers back into the fold somehow, what does that look like? Do they put him on the outside, move Quinyon in the slot, and Darius Slay on the outside, right? Do they try to get Isaiah Rodgers involved in the game and maybe some dime sets? If Cooper DeJean isn't your starting nickel guy, how do you get him involved? Are you going to do some big nickel? So they have options here, but I need Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. Whatever they do beyond that, okay, I'll roll with it. But Quinyon has to stay on the outside, and I'm ready to roll the dice with the young guys.
Yeah, we got Tone Deshields of Chalk It Up Sports. Or no matter where, if we win or we lose, we just chalk it up, right? I did it pretty good. I can't do it
you was close. You was close. You was close. You was close.
I'm still waking up, son. I'm still waking up.
No, you all good, brother. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you.
I just got a couple more questions for you, man. We could go for hours. I just looked at the time yeah, this is flying. For sure. I do want to talk about this Falcons game because we did talk about the edge rushers. We talked about the cornerbacks, and they kind of are married in this game. I think those 2 spots are going to be very important for this game. Obviously, we saw what Kirk Cousins did in week 1. I'm not the biggest believer in week 1. Like, I'm not one of those guys that looks at week 1 and says, oh, that's who the team's going to be for the year. So I'm still giving the Falcons the fact that they're the Falcons. They have a lot of.
It was pretty bad, though. It was pretty bad.
Bad.
I watched that. I watched that game from beginning to end because we're playing both of those teams at some point in the season. Yeah. So I just wanted to really get a sense for the energy, the vibe, how they moving out there. And those Falcons, man, once they put up those 10 points in the first quarter, they were flat. And again, right? I expect them to overcorrect a lot of their mistakes, right? When you play that bad, you kind of just flush it and you just overcorrect. But when your offense is as anemic as it was, when it's as predictable as it was, it makes me concerned because I want to know why you're so predictable. And follow me here, right? And again, I'm pretty sure you're just going to ask me about, my thoughts on this game. Let's just hop right into it, bro.
Waste no time. I love it.
Yeah. Like, let's just listen to this. Listen to these numbers. According to ESPN Stats Info, in week 1, Atlanta ran their offense from either the shotgun or the pistol in 96% of the snaps. Damn. So Kirk Cousins wasn't under center at all in that game. At all. We played Kirk Cousins a lot, being Philadelphia Eagles fans, right? And we know him. They love under center, dropbacks, play action, bootlegs, like. He plays shotgun, but he's an under center guy. He loves dropping back. They had him in shotgun and pistol 90% of the time. Peep this, though. This is where it gets real spooky. The 22 shotgun snaps were 100% pass plays. They did not run out of the shotgun at all. In addition, The 22 snaps from the pistol saw Atlanta run the ball 81% of the time. They were flat out predictable. When they were in shotgun, they were passing. When they were in pistol, they were running the ball. And that begs the question, right? How confident is Kirk Cousins in his Achilles? Because if he can't do a standard 7-step drop back, if he's not confident to put any kind of pressure on that Achilles, then he's a sitting duck back there. And quite frankly, I see, that's the thing. I don't know if because he's right-handed. I don't know if it's his lead foot. So his not left foot. I don't know if it's his leading leg or his left leg or his right leg, where the Achilles. I don't know which one it is, but he didn't look like he was able to get enough force on that ball. He was throwing ducks up there. The Steelers were harassing him on the interior, on the edge. He didn't. They only sacked him twice, but he was not comfortable back there. So I just can't see a situation where this Eagles defense allows him to just tee off. If I'm Vic Fangio, I'm testing him early. I'm sending an extra guy just to rattle his cage. Yeah. That's my perspective. Yeah. They're very limited because of Kirk Cousins, and I just don't know. You paid him 4 years, $180 million, $100 million guaranteed. I just don't physically see the player that I thought they were getting. But it's week 1. I'm trying to be. I'm with you.
And it's funny. First of all, I will say this: that man, whenever he retires, he needs to be an agent, because the way that he has been able to finesse teams over and over and over and over again, God bless that man. I could never hate on him for that.
Bro.
But
I could never hate on a man getting his coin. Never.
Yeah, I can't hate on it. But my biggest fear is that they understand the players that they have, because they have such weapons on offense. But you're right. If Kirk Cousins isn't feeling comfortable, because even in the pistol, if you don't feel comfortable, I mean, that's like a 3-5 step drop. That's not even, you're not doing your full 7 drop. So if he doesn't even feel comfortable doing that, it does beg the question, what the heck is going to go on? But it still begs the question, because last week in week 1, he was the fastest. I've said this a couple times because it makes me worried. He was the fastest quarterback to get the ball out of his hands all week. So it's something that the Eagles continuously fail to react to, and maybe with the new coaching staff, that's something that we're better at. But I feel like, especially with Kirk Cousins, he got the ball out of his hands so quickly that it was like, just let your playmakers do stuff, and they consistently did stuff against us. So that's what worries me with Kirk Cousins, especially because he doesn't feel comfortable. He's gonna get that ball out of his hands quick. So and this will be like, well, I have 2 more questions, and I promise I'll get you out of here.
Bro, you're good. You're good. Trust me, you're good.
But
you're good. Like, I'm enjoying myself. You're good.
Who do you? Because my biggest fear right now is probably Kyle Pitts, and I know that they don't utilize him correctly. But I feel like with that size, that athleticism, you're going to go against probably our linebackers, slot cornerbacks. I feel like he's going to be hitting our weakest point, and he's one of their better players. Is there a guy on the Falcons that, if we were to lose, it would be because of this guy?
Is there a guy on the Falcons that if we lose, it'll be because of this guy? If so, it's not Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. If it's on the offensive side, and he's not named Kirk Cousins, even everything goes to the quarterback. But if it's not Kirk, if I'm excluding the quarterback, I'll probably roll with Bijan Robinson.
Makes sense.
I feel like he's their offense. He's their offense. I think he had over 20 touches in that game last week. Look, here's the thing. You bring up a good point. Kirk Cousins' ability to get the ball in his hands quick is a trait of his, right? And because of the way they were attacked on the offensive line last week, I expect them to get that ball out of his hands very, very quickly. I expect that. But here's the thing. I just think that we're catching the Atlanta Falcons at the perfect time, because I had the Atlanta Falcons winning the NFC South. I still do. I'm not going to move off of it. Just off of week 1. I think there's a lot to be proven and a lot to be desired in that division. I know the Saints did what they did to the Panthers, but it's the Panthers. And I know the Buccaneers did what they did to the Commanders, but it's the Commanders. Yeah. So I think the NFC South is still very much up for grabs. I'm still rolling with the Atlanta Falcons to win that division. I just think they're at a point where they don't know how good they can be yet. Yeah. Because I look at that Falcons team, I mean, that defense, Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, and you got AJ Terrell at corner, one of the best up and coming corners. Then you got Grady Jarrett and you trade for Matthew Judon, right? You got talent on the defensive side. And then on the offense, again, Kirk Cousins, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. The offensive line is decent. They did not play as well as they really are in that first game, or play as good as they actually are in that first game. I just don't think they know how good they can be yet.
Yeah.
New coaches, new everything, really. We're catching up at the perfect time before they know who they are.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about the Green Bay game. You're catching them early in the season, and you stole an important win, right? A conference win, a win against a team that you're probably going to see in the playoffs. You built momentum off that. And you did it in foreign territory, and you got away with it. So this game against the Falcons, I'm not sleeping on it per se, but I think this is a game where the Philadelphia Eagles should have every capability to dominate it. Bijan Robinson is really the main guy I'm watching. I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle Pitts because, and again, like I try when I talk about this game, I try to be as respectful as possible. You know, I don't like calling guys trash because I don't think I don't like that language. Just me personally. I'd rather call a guy soft or something. And I think Kyle Pitts is just, he's not physical enough for me at the position. And that was kind of the knock on him just in general. He's really he's an athletic dude playing tight end. He's bigger than receivers, so you don't want him a wide receiver, but he's, you know, too small to play on the ball, on the line. Like they don't want Kyle Pitts in any run fits. Yeah. They don't want him there. They want him playing. They want him playing in the you know, in the Y, you know, in the split. They want him out. They want him free, like a Travis Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, they like him free off the line of scrimmage. They like that with Kyle Pitts, and believe it or not, I was really concerned about Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave in that Packers game, and I saw how the Eagles balanced that, and they've struggled with tight ends. And Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave are very good at what they do. Kyle Pitts, good at what he does, but do I look at him as somebody I'm concerned about the Rector's game? I just don't. What game has he taken over in his career?
Yeah, you're
you know, like.
right.
Yeah, I mean, his first year, 1,000 yards. The second year, he had got hurt a little bit, didn't play the whole season. Then last year, he played the whole season, only like 600 yards. I mean, and granted, they had terrible quarterback play. I want to make sure I put that out there too. It matters. But just, he hasn't been able to be a force. Like, I've seen guys have bad quarterbacks and still be a force. Devontae Adams, bad quarterback play. He's a force still. You know what I mean? Justin Jefferson, he's a force still, no matter who's playing. So it's just, I just haven't seen that Kyle Pitts be that force that he was supposed to be coming out of college. I'm not concerned about their skill guys as much as I was concerned about Green Bay's skill guys. I think Green Bay's skill position group is better than the Falcons. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So,
and coaching has a lot to do with that. I think that, you know, you look at the coach of the Packers, he's able to get those guys in free open space. He's a very good coach. And I mean, the Falcons, they have a new coach. So we'll see what happens with them, but bad first week for the coach as well when you're that predictable.
And they were home. You were home.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's horrible. But I mean, and you know, if you don't think your quarterback's ready, then don't start him. You have Penix, go out there and just put Penix out there, let him play, and see what he can do for you. I mean, like just
Yo, Joe, I don't like the Falcons quarterback situation right now.
Yeah.
And here's why: you paid Kirk Cousins all that money coming off of an Achilles injury for one. And then for two, remind you, Kirk Cousins is 36. And then you sign or you draft Michael Penix, a 24-year-old quarterback. So let's just say in theory, Kirk Cousins only gives you 3 years out of the 4-year deal. Let's just say you get 3 years out of him, right? You mean to tell me Michael Penix is going to become the starter at age 27, 28? Mm-hmm. And he's already got his own injury history. I mean,
yeah, it don't make sense.
What are you running, a geriatric home? Like, what are you doing? Like, I just didn't like it. If you were going quarterback in the first round, go all in on it. Don't hedge your bet with Kirk Cousins. Save your money and put it elsewhere. Put more pieces around him. Yeah. I just didn't like. I didn't like the move, especially in hindsight after they drafted Penix.
Yeah, lot of their draft was kind of weird. But I mean, we'll let the Falcons content creators worry about that because they got a lot of mess to worry about. So, all right. So, in the last question I want to ask you, man, and again,
for sure.
I appreciate you so much for jumping.
Bro, thank you for having me, man. I really do. I'm glad that we've been able to reconnect like this for sure. I definitely got to bring you on my channel. As just as this thing progresses, and we'll work it out. But definitely, I got to bring you on, man. It's always fun talking to you.
Yeah. So last question I got for you, Tone, is basically what this whole show is based around, and it's a question I keep on asking because I don't know where a lot of Eagles fans' heads are. Do you feel that this season is a Super Bowl or quote unquote bust for the Eagles?
Absolutely. And here's my perspective, right? I always like to give both sides of the coin, the player perspective, the organizational perspective, and then, the fan perspective, right? People. This organization has invested a lot of money, a lot of resources into both sides of the ball, right? On the offensive side, the Eagles invested a lot of money, a lot of capital monetarily, right? A lot of financial investment. Landon Dickerson got re-upped. Jordan Mailata re-upped this contract. They gave A.J. Brown more money. Devontae Smith got re-upped. Obviously, you're paying Jalen Hurts what you're paying him, but his contract, as far as the cap hits, are very reasonable in comparison to the league. You pay Saquon Barkley, right? Dallas Goedert is still a top 6, top 7 paid guy at his position, right? So when you invest that kind of money on that side of the ball, we know what your intentions are. You don't have that kind of roster on offense if you're not trying to win it all, for one. And then defense, maybe they didn't invest the biggest amount monetarily, but they invested a lot of draft capital on that side of the ball. You drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round, then you followed it up with Cooper DeJean. You went DB, you went cornerback on back-to-back picks. That's a clear shot across the bow to the way your DBs played last year. You're making it very clear. We're trying to fix this issue. You made other moves when you brought in some veteran leadership guys who played, Oren Burks, Devin White. You've invested a lot on the interior with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. You brought back CJ GJ, right? You still got Darius Slay, who had a pretty good game, right? I think Darius Slay still plays like a top 15, top 13 corner in this league, if I'm being completely honest with you. That's my opinion. This team is Super Bowl or bust, right? They've invested so much. And from the fan perspective, right? When these tickets cost north of $150, $200, $250, $300, right?
Talk to him.
And then you get into the concessions and you get into the parking, the merchandise, and how much fans pop off of this team, the way we travel, so on and so forth. I mean, there's nothing, we don't deserve anything less than a Super Bowl run, in my humble opinion, right? Seeing the amount of moves you made in the front office with the coaching staff, and you have so much riding on the success of this regime. And let's be honest about this. Let's call it what it is. If the Philadelphia Eagles can't win a Super Bowl in the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert era, this era of Philadelphia Eagles talent, this is probably the most potent era we've ever seen with the Philadelphia Eagles as far as talent. It would be a flat out disappointment. And we will look back as fans, you and I would be 40, 50 years old saying, damn, Castro. Remember when we had Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown? And you're going to be like, man, I don't want to hear that ball. So it's just you. They've invested so much. Their actions, everything surrounding this organization tells me they are Super Bowl or bust this season. Now, this is where things get great. Because not only are you invested in the now, this team is constructed to compete big at least for the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. You got Saquon Barkley on the 3-year deal, right? You got the Jahan Dotson rookie contract. You got that for at least for the next 2 to 3 seasons. A.J. Brown and Smitty are going to be here for a while. I actually think both of those guys retire Eagles. I for some reason I just think Harry's going to make sure those guys are always here. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, you probably got another good solid 2 years out of him if he remains healthy, right? You gotta take advantage of this opportunity, man. You gotta take advantage. Like you're talented. That's why I want these young guys on defense to get out there early. Because I'm looking at a Kansas City Chiefs situation where the Kansas City Chiefs in 2022, they rolled the dice on them young guys, right? Trent McDuffie was a young guy. L'Jarius Sneed was young. George Karlaftis. They had young guys all over that defense, and they let them go through their growing pains early in the season. Spags had them going through the grinder, and by the time they played us in that Super Bowl, they was ready to rock. So, and they've been better ever since then. So I just look at it like Quayon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, right? Get those guys out there, let them get their lumps. I really want to see what Jalen Hunt has, because it's something about him that just make me feel like he just got it. Something about him. So yeah, this is a Super Bowl or bust. Now, next year, the year after that, right? Even if we win it this year. Matter of fact, when we win it this year,
Facts.
I'm coming back next year like, yo, feed me rappers and feed me beats. Yeah. I'm untamed. I need a leash. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I want to smoke with everybody, Castro.
I feel it.
I want to smoke with everybody. I feel like we can beat anybody in this league. I'm more optimistic, and I think I'm going to ask you this real quick before I get out of here. Are you, after saying that defense, right? Knowing the circumstances they had to play under, are you more optimistic about them today than you were when the season started?
Oh, for sure.
Or prior to the season starting, rather?
For sure. I would say, I wouldn't say it's like a total 180 flip, but if I was at like a 5 before the season started, I'm probably at a solid 6, 7 right now. Like
that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
I still want to see these edge rushers get going, because I always feel like that's what we're built on. So once I see them going, I might be 9, 10. It might be all the way up. But the same way you saying, I'm ready for the smoke. I'm ready to go out there and play good teams. Because I feel like the Green Bay Packers, no matter how much they may have shot themselves in the foot, we shot ourselves.
That's a good team. That's a good team.
Let's go. Let's go play. I want to play whoever you want to put in front of me. Do we even play the Niners this year? I don't think we do, right?
No, we don't. No,
that's the
play,
one team I wish we would have played this year.
NFC South.
I want everybody.
Yeah, we're NFC South and AFC North this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm with you on that, right? I just think that and I was saying this to LB and Simone. I think we've seen the worst version of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. This coaching staff, and also seeing that we ain't really get into the Kellen Moore impact of it either. If I could just get this off real quick. One thing that stood out to me about that game also was, although the Eagles struggled in the first 2 drives, I never felt like the offense was struggling, if that makes sense. I never felt like the offense didn't have any answers like we did last year in those final 6. Even when we were 10-1, I felt like that 10-1 was a struggle bus. You feel what I'm saying? So even though the first 2 drives started the way they did, the way they were able to settle down and string together plays and say, you know what? All right, we know we did wrong. And then they just double back, right? And then to go touchdown for touchdown with Green Bay, you answer with your touchdown. Now you up 7-6. Green Bay answers with their touchdown. Now they up on you 12-7 because they tried to go for 2 and they didn't get it. Then you come right back down the field, 14-12. And then you could have blew the game wide open and made it 21-12 with the pick 6, but you didn't get it. They spin the block and get you with the 70+ yard touchdown. Okay, now it's 19-14. You go into halftime. You keep it. You keep it cute. You take the points. Now you're down 19-17. Then all of a sudden, 2-play drive, touchdown. I just love the way they were answering and they stayed at it. Yeah. I think we've seen the worst Philadelphia Eagles team, bro. Yeah. That offense actually had answers. You saw guys actually getting open, having a ton of space to work with. I think we saw the worst Jalen Hurts. We saw the worst Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think they only going to get better because of the coaching and the way they're being taught and just how talented they are and how smart players they are. I mean, you got some smart players on the side of the ball.
Yeah, coaching matters, man. Coaching matters. # coaching matters. I'm telling you, we're seeing a total difference. So I'm excited, man.
I'm telling you, it's the worst Eagles team. You heard it here first. It's the worst Eagles team you gonna see. I believe that.
I agree. I think that they're gonna get the kinks out. I think that this team is gonna start taking off, man. It's either gonna, and I've said this from the beginning of the year, it's either gonna be a really fun season or it's gonna be a really long one. If this team can play up to its potential, we have a possible Super Bowl team. I truly do believe that. So let's get it. Let's beat everybody that we got to play. But Tone, I appreciate you so much, my man, for coming on here. Let them know where they can find you. You got the fire shirt on. Let them know.
Thank you.
Everything.
Yeah,
so where they can find you, brother.
For sure. So yeah, you guys, you can find me. I'm the content. Chalk It Up Sports is available damn near everywhere. Chalk It Up Sports is growing very fast. You can Like, comment, and subscribe to me on YouTube. It's Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys stay active. Also, Chalk It Up Sports is not only available on YouTube, Chalk It Up Sports is also available on Apple Podcasts. It's also available on Spotify. We're pretty much giving you guys daily live streams. We're giving you guys about, I want to say, 5 to 6 live streams every week. Sometimes we double up and give you two live streams a day. We may hit you with 3 depending on the circumstances. I'm constantly working, constantly give you guys clips, live streams, shorts. We do giveaways as well. You know, we were doing giveaways all through our training camp and preseason leading up to the regular season. We're going to start our giveaways up again. I have so much stuff to give away to people. On top of that, we do have Chalk It Up Sports merchandise. If you guys go on the YouTube channel, check all the links. Listen, you can see the merchandise on the channel. We're on our Apex run. We're on our Apex Predator run, okay? This is official Chalk It Up Sports merchandise. We got shirts, and this is the oversized T style. I'm wearing the extra large. So whatever size you wear, you know, just know the shirt is meant to be oversized, okay? So I like extra large shirts. That's just me where I'm at. We got shirts, we got sweatshirts, we got hoodies, different colorways. It's the fall season, so we got earth tones, we got blacks, we got tans, we got grays, we got charcoal grays, we got olive greens and forest greens. We got options for you guys on the Chalk It Up Sports store, so you can find that on my YouTube channel. Just check out the content; it's there. Make sure you guys check out the weekly show, The Link Up, featuring Simone Stanley, Laura Brunson, and myself. Also check out my weekly pregame show that I do with my man Pro Fan Talk, Coach Marcus, former Eagles running back from back in the day. I appreciate all the love. Joe Castro, Philly, man. This guy's been doing amazing work since I've known him. Always been available to me whenever I needed him. We've always had heated debates on Twitter.
We have.
But this is my guy though. It's always in good faith and it's always in good fun. Got a lot of love for him, and I just appreciate him for allowing me to grace his platform. Once again, Chalk It Up Sports. I'm your guy, Tone Deshields II. Chalk It Up Sports is the brand. Chalk It Up Sports is everything. Go check it out. We're growing fast, y'all. Make sure you are on the right side of history.
Definitely, yeah. And we're gonna have the links in the description. I had to restart the stream, so there's nothing in the description right now. But I promise you,
Got you.
Right
got
after.
you. No, you're all good, brother. You're all good. Listen, I appreciate you letting me pontificate and just let me just spew all that.
Do your thing,
dog.
dog.
All the housekeeping. You know what I'm saying?
will
So
say,
again, I appreciate you.
Before I get you out of here, I will say it's one thing to bring great content. You know, we're blessed in the Eagles, community that we have a lot of great content creators. But it's another thing to be a good person. And I will say, Tone is a good person. Tone has been always been a good person with me. Like he said, we might fight, we might argue on Twitter and have disagreements, but that's what makes these conversations even better.
For sure.
I feel like we have the two sides of it. So Tone, thank you so much, man. And I'm sure we're going to do this again. I told you 15 minutes. We both knew that was a lie.
When you text me on, when you DM me on Twitter, say, I need about 20 minutes. I'm like, I know me. So it may be way more than 20 minutes. So, but regardless, bro, it was a good conversation. I feel like we got a lot. We covered a lot, and there's still so much more to cover. But, again, man, I got to get you on my channel most likely sometime next week. We'll go from there, my man. I'll definitely be hitting you up for sure. But again, man, I just appreciate you giving me the space and opportunity to really just air my grievances, concerns, or whatever it is that I'm excited about, happy about. I just appreciate you giving me that space, my friend.
Always, brother. So I'll be hitting you up again. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tone. Say what up to Tone. Say what up to Tone. There's a bunch of people in here saying what up to you. So I will talk to you soon, brother. But thank you so much, man. And man, go have a good day, brother. I know you got a whole bunch of other work to do. So thank you for slumming it with Philly in the morning, man.
Oh no, listen, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Be safe, brother.
Yes, sir.
That was Tone Deshields of Chalk It Up Sports, man. Always a good conversation with my guy, man. Always fun to have him on here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are absolutely killing the chat. I got way too into the conversation and didn't talk to any of you guys, so I apologize. But shout out to Chiquita in the building, Dylan in the building, 803 Hitman, True Savage, Antonio, Unforgiven, Eagles Girl, Daz. Who else we got in here? Big D, D Aldridge. Amanda's in the building. Iron Mike, what's going on? Everybody that's in the building, man, we got 40 people on the YouTube side. I can't see the Twitter side right now, but be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much. I promise you, me and him said it was going to be like 15, 20 minutes. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Whenever me and him start talking, it becomes like an hour-long thing. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back soon. Monday, we have a very, very special show with some very special guests as well. We going to have a morning shakedown, guys. I'm going to have Philly 500 and Joey Shakes on this show, chopping it up. But y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it's going to be. This flag was fly. We out here. Say with me if you remember. Peace!
Everywhere. This is for
Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to